Good morning, everyone. My name is Chrissy. Welcome back to my channel. This is Everyday Tidbits. Today we're going to talk about the personality traits that make a great paramedic. Okay, so the number one thing I would say that makes a great paramedic is having compassion and empathy for your patients. This is a job where I would say 90% of our job, we treat people. We treat sick people. We care for them. We make them better, or at least prolong life and make somebody comfortable getting them to the hospital. But you also have to have compassion and empathy because you're seeing people at the worst time in their life. You're seeing people in the middle of a crisis, and you need to have compassion, and you need to be able to calm these people down, and you need to be able to bring them down and to focus on the problem, on the moment, and to help them participate in their own care. So if somebody's freaking out, or if somebody's excited or panicking, you need to be able to have that empathy and that compassion for them. Put yourself in their shoes and think, what would I need from a person taking care of me to make my life better right now? Besides the obvious, caring for the sickness and the problem that they're having, is to make them feel safe, make them feel like you're confident in what you're doing and that you're going to help them. Number 2, you should be able to make quick decisions. Thinking on your feet is very important in this job. You have to be able to identify the problem, identify what you're going to do, get to it, and get to it quickly. Critical thinking and just making sure that if someone's in crisis and there's a medical emergency, that you're going to be able to think quickly to do what has to be done to get this person better. You need to be able to quickly think on your feet, make quick decisions, make good decisions, and help this person. You need to be flexible. Flexibility is big. Just an example, I'm on a unit that can be moved anywhere in the system. So if I come in, I need to be flexible, knowing that at any time they can move my unit to a different area to cover a different area. So I pack my lunch, I pack my breakfast, I pack snacks. Everything I need for the day is in my cooler, in my bag, and it stays with me in the truck. I also have a little oven thing that I can plug into the wall that warms up my food. I don't even need a microwave. So I'm pretty flexible. You can put me anywhere you want during the 12 hours of my shift, as long as you get me back on time so I can go home. But even then, flexibility is knowing the fact that you might have an overrun. Your shift is 12 hours. Ours is 12 and a half, actually. But, I don't make plans after work knowing that at any time I could have an overrun and the shift may go beyond 12 and a half hours and that I could be stuck. So you need to be very flexible with yourself, with your schedule, and, just expect change because it happens. You need to be a team player. You need to be able to work well with others. Not only with the other agencies that you interact with. We interact with fire, police, we interact with EMTs, we interact with nurses, doctors, and the public. That's number 1, the public. Plus your partner. You have to be able to interact with your partner. You're stuck with this person for 12 and a half hours. And if you don't have any social skills, if you don't have any interpersonal skills, if you can't communicate with your partner or with the public, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to have a bad time. So you need to be able to have team player and good communication skills. You need to be a team player because, listen, I know in certain agencies you have a platoon or you have a squad, or in my instance, we call it a rotation, where you have, there's 2 of us on the truck, myself and my partner, and then 2 people come in to relieve us at shift change, and then 2 different people come in to relieve them on the next rotation. So it's called a rotation, and our job is to basically, we have to keep the truck clean, keep it stocked to make sure that the next rotation does not need a vital piece of equipment in the truck and it's not there. So if we use something in the truck, we have to replace it. That's a good team player. You're looking out for not only yourself, you're looking out for your partner, and you're looking out for the other team members on your team. So you have to be a team player, and you have to, you know, have good communication skills with everybody. So, you know, another part of being a team player is looking out for each other. If somebody needs early relief, come in early for them, stay late for them. It just depends on the situation, because if you ever need it, they're going to be there for you. That's just being a team player. Make sure the truck is stocked. Come in the morning, do your rig check, and if something needs to be replaced, replace it. If you use something, replace it. Be a team player. Keep your truck clean, keep your unit clean, and then everything will run like a well-oiled machine. You need to be able to lift heavy things. Not only your equipment, you have a heavy monitor, you have a heavy bag, and you need to be able to lift patients. Now, as a paramedic, I don't know about where you are in your state, how your district works, but in New Jersey, we're a two-tiered system. We have the paramedics and we have the EMTs. So the EMTs come and they treat basic injuries and, you know, sick people that don't require advanced life support. That's where we come in. We're the advanced life support. Now, a lot of times, paramedics don't need to do a lot of lifting. However, if the EMTs need assistance, absolutely, I'm going to help. So I need to be able to be physically fit and able to lift. So if a patient is stuck between a wall and a toilet, or between a wall and a bed, or they're in a situation where, say, they're in cardiac arrest on the bed and you need to get them to the floor and they're a big person, it might require more than 2 people to lift and carry and help get this person out. Especially if there's a spiral staircase, or if they're up in an area of the house where they need to get down the stairs and they need extra hands. You need to be able to carry your heavy equipment and help lift patients. A lot of patients are heavy. You know, a lot of people are for old ladies and for old men, but in the situations where someone is a little bit more heavier and the EMTs need a little bit of assistance, or if it's just you and your partner alone and you don't get EMT assistance, you need to be able to lift. So you have to be at least able to lift, if not physically fit in all areas, to be able to handle this job. You're also getting in and out of the truck multiple times a day, stepping up into the truck, stepping down off ladders, off of stairs, you know, in and out of the truck. Whatever it is, you need to be able to do this job. It's a very physical job, so physical agility is something that's very important. So you need to be able to work on little sleep. I don't know, like I said, in your district, in your area, if you do shift work, if you're switching shifts, if you do 24-hour shifts, 48-hour shifts, I'm not really sure. In my company that I work for, like I said, I do 3 12.5-hour shifts a week. I come in at 6:30, I go home at 7. That's the way it works. I know in other districts or other, you know, companies, people work 24-hour shifts, 48-hour shifts, and you're on that whole time, and you may be busy the entire time. You may not get much sleep. You might not get much downtime. You might not get a break. So you need to be able to function and work on little sleep and little rest. That's just something that we're used to. Coffee helps a lot. So if you're not a coffee drinker before you become a paramedic, I guarantee you, once you become a paramedic, coffee is going to be your friend. You need to have the ability to learn new skills. Our job is always evolving, I should say, that's the word I'm looking for. There's always research being done. There's always new skills coming out. Something that you learned in paramedic school might not be the right standard of care the next year, the next month, down the road. So you need to be able to pick up on and learn new skills, new mindset, new drugs that are being released, new, when I went to school, we did not have CPAP. We didn't learn about the CPAP. I had to learn that later. So you have to be able to adapt and learn new skills that are coming out. Also, we didn't have a glide scope when I went to paramedic school. Now we do. A glide scope is where you can actually see on a camera the cords. It makes it very easy. But, I'm like an old dog. Sometimes I don't want to pick the glide scope up because I learned without it. But you need to be flexible. You need to be able to learn these new skills. You need to have the ability to say that you don't know everything. So, so every year we have to take continuing education units. Every 2 years we have to take a refresher. So in the refresher, that's a good time where new skills come out and they teach us the new skills. Also in our competencies, we do yearly competencies. So you have to attend those and learn the new skills and, just be flexible to it and be open to it and be able to learn the new skills. You need to be able to stay calm and work under pressure. This is a highly stressful job, and most of the time, it's not like you see on TV where it's like action, running into action, and everyone's running and epi this and screaming and barking orders, and every job is not like that. It's not like an action movie on every job, but a stressful situation could be a dog barking constantly getting in your ear. You can't hear anything. You're constantly repeating yourself. A patient can't hear you. They're getting frustrated with you. That's a stressful situation. Or sometimes you get people, like I said earlier, in their crisis, in the middle of the worst day of their life, and they don't know how to act because they're extremely upset, they're extremely scared, they're extremely stressed out. They take it out on you. They're very nasty. They start calling you names. They don't want to give you any information. They just said, take me to the hospital. Well, you can't do your job effectively without the open communication from you, from your patient, from your partner, and that could be a very stressful situation. So you have to learn how to de-escalate and work under stress and pressure. And de-escalation is another skill that you have to learn. You have to learn how to de-escalate a very stressful situation, calm everyone down, calm yourself down, find your chi, find your inner chi, and go to work. Because people are looking up to you to be the leader in the situation because that's your job. You're a paramedic. You're there to treat a patient, make them better, take control of the situation. People are looking up to you. The patients' families, the EMTs, the law enforcement, the fire, they're looking at you like, hey, yes, the paramedics are here, we can breathe. So you have to be that person to de-escalate, work under pressure, take charge, and that leads me to my next point. You have to have good leadership skills. If you're not a natural born leader, it's time to become and learn the skills to become a natural leader. Because, like I said, the EMTs are looking up to you. You have to make these decisions. You have to take control of the scene. You have to be the leader. And you have to be, you have to take charge. So being a leader is a very important trait that you have to learn how to be. You have to have a strong stomach. You will see some gross, nasty, smelly, wretched things in this job. You will see blood. You will see guts. You will see brain matter. You will see bodily fluids. You will see poop. You will see pee. You will see vomit. It might get on you. It might get on you. Now, they say veterans, the seasoned medics, they don't get dirty. But you know what? If a patient's got a vomit and it's coming your way at 100 miles an hour, you might not have time to duck. So you have to have a strong stomach. And I suggest carrying toiletries with you, extra socks, maybe some extra boots if you have them. I always keep a backup pair. Whenever I buy a new pair of boots, I save the old boots. If there's something wrong with them, like if sole's busted or a zipper's busted or there's a scratch or a scrape or the shoelace is broken, I still save them because having some kind of boot is better than having no boot or a boot that's been saturated in vomit or blood or whatever. I just throw the old boots in my car. I always have my backups with me, whether or not they're in tip-top shape. Like I said, anything's better than nothing. Carry a spare uniform, like head to toe. Underwear, bra, undershirt, sweater, jacket, shirt and pants, everything. Because you never know when you're going to get wet or soiled on the job. You have to have a strong stomach. Let me tell you, I'm still working on that. If the wrong kind of smell gets me up my snout, I am going to be retching like nobody's business. Like, I don't like the smell of GI blood. Ooh, that gets me. And if I can smell vomit in like just the right way, I'm done. So you really have to have a strong stomach. You also have to have a strong, intelligent, emotional well-being. Now, I'm not saying that you have to have an iron personality and no emotion and nothing like that, but you have to be able to handle really sad situations, like and anything like that. Self-inflicted injuries, they're sad. They're very sad. And anything involving children is very sad. There's a lot of situations where you actually have to inform family members of the death of their loved one. And then you have to be empathetic about it. And, you know, you have to have good communication skills. That's all I have to say about that. Another thing you have to have, a very important skill, is resilience. You have to be resilient. And like I said before, it does not mean that you cannot have feelings, you cannot be affected by the situation, but you have to be resilient. You have to know where to go if you're having an issue, and who to talk to, and how to cope, and how to build yourself back up from any situation that you encounter in this job. And like I said, it's not easy at times. There are some things that are very hard to deal with, but you have to be resilient or you're not going to make it here. You're not going to make it. You have to be a strong person. You can't be weak. This is not for the weak here. But it's not to say that you can't feel these things, because you can. You have permission to feel, you have permission to have your emotions, but keep it off the truck. Keep it out of the situation. When you're in it, you have to be strong, you have to deal with it, you have to take charge, you have to be the leader. Sorry about that, guys. We had a job and I had to go, so I'm back. But anyway, I was saying before, you have to be resilient, you have to be able to overcome, you have to be able to move on, and you have to be able to grow. There's always room for growth in this field. There's always room for, you know, mental growth and maturing and just growing in your skills and all that stuff. So another really good quality to have is being able to perform in situations where others might break down. So that goes back to being resilient. If you're in a situation where, say, a baby is sick or you have a cardiac arrest on a baby, it's very hard. That is a hard situation to deal with. And, you know, some people might not be able to handle that as well as others. So it's up to you to just pull yourself together in that moment, on that call, and just do what you have to do and get it done. So you need to be able to work under those conditions. Put your feelings aside, if only for a moment, and just be professional. Bring the professional out, stuff your feelings in, and then talk about it afterwards. My final thought is you have to know when to ask for help. This is the most important trait, I feel. Just because we're paramedics and we come in and we're considered heroes and we're considered, you know, the savior in the situation, and that we are the savers, we are the healers, we are the ones that come in and help you, it doesn't mean that we don't need help ourselves. Now, when I say know when to ask for help, I'm talking about at your job. This is different from what I'm going to go into next, but at your job, if you're in a situation where you need help with a skill, or you're not sure with a skill, and you're in this situation where the skill needs to be performed and you're on a job and you're with a patient, ask your partner for help. Ask a preceptor for help. Ask somebody to help you. Don't go in there and say, I can do this, when you know you can't, or it's something that you haven't been trained on, or it's something that you're not comfortable with. We have to do it. If you've been trained on it, you should do it. You should be expected to do it. You are expected to do it. But if you need help, ask for help, because you could seriously hurt somebody. That is the first situation of knowing when to ask for help. But the second situation is your mental health. Know when you need to ask for help. Know when you're at a point where it's just too much. Know when you're at a point where PTSD is kicking in, where it's getting to be too much, where you can't stop thinking about a call that's really bothering you, or you just can't get something out of your head, or you're having bad thoughts, or you're having emotional breakdowns over something that has to do with your job or something that doesn't have to do with your job. We are human. We're not machines. We're not superheroes. We're not immune to mental health problems. We're not immune to emotions. We're not immune to feelings. So you need to know that it's okay to ask for help. It really is okay to ask for help. Whether it's calling a friend just to vent, talking to a supervisor about something that happened at work, talk to your partner, talk to your husband, wife, spouse, partner in life, whatever it is, or call a professional, psychologist, psychiatrist, counselor, social worker, whatever it is that you need to do. There's also hotlines. I have a few listed in the description box, a lot, different areas. I have resources for you if you need help and you need to be anonymous and you don't want to go to somebody that you know. Please, whatever you do, if you're struggling with your mental health, know when to ask for help. Please ask for help. I'm begging you to go get help. That is the most important trait of being a paramedic. Do not take this on yourself if it's becoming too much for you. I'm serious. I care about you. I care about your well-being, and it's very important. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for today. I appreciate you joining me. Thank you so much for your support. If you could, please hit that subscription button down below and hit the bell notification so that you're notified every time I post. Follow me on Instagram at everyday_tidbits and Facebook at everydaytidbits, because I would love for you to be a part of my YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook family. I hope you all have a great day. I hope you're all being safe. Wash your hands, don't touch your face, get vaccinated, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye!